moment, we will discuss about something new, something that I never bring in my YouTube channel because this is the wonderful time for me. So, give me support. You can click subscribe below this video and don't forget to turn on the notification because you will see the next video from me. And also give like and comment in here in below this video. Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yona Serisli. I'm from Eki University, and today we will discuss about. Do you really want to know? Okay, guys. Before we start this video, let me give a little speech from my deepest heart. Okay, guys. I'm very thanks to God that I can deliver this video. Because of His grace and His mercy, we can meet in this video by virtual video. I also say thanks to my lecturer. He is so handsome and he is so funny, right? When he's teaching us in the class, he always makes us laugh very loud. His name is Mr. Muhit. Here you can see the picture. So handsome, right? Thank you, Mr. Muhit. You're watching this video right now. Okay, let's get down to business. In here, I will deliver about feminist theory and structuralism theory. I'm sorry if my pronunciation is not good enough, but I try so hard to deliver this video, so please support me, guys. Okay, let's retry from the first. Okay, feminist theory. First, let me ask you something. What is feminist theory? Did you see? Am I a feminist? What is feminist? What is feminist? Feminist. What is this? Feminist. Hey. Okay, guys. Wait. I will show you something. I'm using this book to deliver my material. This book looks dirty, right? Because I always read this book. I like this book and be like this. Okay, I'm using this book from Literary Theory from David Carter. You can find it in the internet. Okay, let's restart. Feminist theory is the extension of feminism into theoretical, fictional, or philosophical discourse. It aims to understand the nature of gender inequality. It examines women's and men's in social roles, experience, interests, careers, and feminist politics in a variety of fields, such as anthropology and sociology, communication, media studies, psychoanalysis, home economics, literature, education, and philosophy. Okay, guys, there is a general agreement among most authors that a feminist theory divided into two parts. The first one is the first wave, and then the second wave. We start from the first wave. The first wave, the earlier phase of modern feminist theory, was very much influenced by the social and economic reforms brought about by the women's rights and suffrage movement. Two writers in particular stand out in this period for first raising many of the issues which would continue to preoccupy later feminists. Okay guys, the first one is Virginia Woolf. From 1882 until 1941. Woolf considered especially the social situation of women as writers, and in the latter, she explored the dominance of the major profession by men. Woolf was also the first earliest writer to stress that gender is not predetermined but is a social construct and as such can be changed. Simone de Beauvoir is famous not only as a feminist but as the lifelong partner of the French philosopher named Jean-Paul Sartre. She was a very active fighter for women's rights and a supporter of abortion. Her most influential book is Without Doubt. Without Doubt. Without Doubt. Without Doubt. Without Doubt. The Second Sex, that is 1949. In this work, she outlined the difference between the interests of men and women and attacked various forms of male dominance over women. Okay, let's talk about the second wave. Yeah. The second wave of feminist theory was very much influenced by the various liberationist movements, especially in America in the 1960th century. Its central concern was sexual difference. The theoretics of the second wave criticized especially the argument. Okay, the first one comes from Kate Millett from 1934. Kate Millett's book, Sexual Politics, 1969, was probably the most influential feminist work of its period. Her central argument is that the main cause of the oppression of women is ideology. The second one is from Sandra Gilbert, 1936, and Susan Gilbert, 1944. Gilbert and Gilbert's The Mad Woman in the Attic, 1979. The Mad Woman in the Attic, 1979, is famous for its exploration of certain female stereotypes in literature, especially those of the angel and the monster. Rochester has looked in the attic in Charlotte Bronte, Jane Eyre. They have been criticized for identifying many examples of partial dominance without providing a true criticism of it. That women were made inferior by virtue of their biological difference to men. Okay, the third one is Ellen Salter from 1941. She coined the term giant criticism for her mode of analyzing the works of women writers. She also argued for a profound difference between the writing of women and men, and she divided this tradition into three phases. Okay, the first phase, or the feminine phase, female writers in this phase internalize and respect the dominant male perspective, which require that women authors remain strategically in their socially acceptable place. And then the second phase, the feminist phase, included radical feminist writers who protest against male values. And then the third one phase, which she described as the female phase. developed the notion of especially female writing. Okay, we're going to next. Here is Julia Kristeva from 1941. The central idea of Julia Kristeva have already been outlined in relation of the influence of Lacanian psychoanalysis on her work. She considered Lacan's symbolic stage in a child development to be the main root of male dominance. When a child learns language, it also recognizes principle of order, law, and rationally associated with partial society. When a child learns English, it also recognizes principle of order, law, and rationally associated with a partial society. And then 5, we have Helen Cizos, 1937. Helen essay, The Love of the Medusa, 1979, argue for positive representation of femininity in women's writing. Her mode of writing is often poetic rather than rational. And then we have Luz Irigaray from 1932. Luz Irigaray is especially critical of Freud's view of women. Male perception is clearly associated with psych, observation, analysis, aesthetic, and etc. But women gain pleasure from physical contact. The eroticism of women is fundamentally different to the men. For Luz, all this implies that women should celebrate their completely different nature to men, their otherness. Only in this way can they overcome the traditional male dominance perception of women. Okay guys, and the last, we have Ruth Robbins. Ruth Robbins, in general concern of Marxist feminism, is to reveal the double oppression of women both by the capitalist system and by sexuality within the home. And to explain the relationship between the two, the idea of Ruth Robbins provides a good example of the combination of feminist concern and Marxist principle. Okay guys, that's all about the theory of feminists. I hope this feminist theory can useful for us, for you, and for every people in this world that have a research of this theory. Keep fighting guys. Okay, let's we go to the next part, that is structuralism. Okay, here, let's get down to the business. Hey you almost forget, you don't have to use let's get down to business again. We're still in business right now. Oh my god, netizen, I'm sorry. Okay, we go to the next part, okay? I'm sorry, please. Okay guys, I'm sorry. I know netizen always right. Okay, we go to structuralism. Do you know what is structuralism? Oh my god, you don't know about structuralism? Great! We learn together in here. You will understand. Okay guys, structuralism, the assumption that a literary work expresses an other minds and personality, and that it also tells some essential truth about human life. In an essay of 1968, the French theorist named Roland put the structuralist view in perhaps its most forcible forms. He claimed that writers only have the power to mix already existing writings to resemble them. Yeah. Okay guys, the first one is come from Ferdinand de Souza from 1856 till 1913. Important for structuralist theory is his distinction between leisure and parole. Leisure is the language system which we all share and which we unconsciously draw on when we speak. Parole is language as we actually realize it in individual utterance. For Saussure, the proper study for linguistics is the underlying system and not the individual utterance. Structuralist literary critics also endeavor to study the underlying rules of grammar of a word and not its idiom synthesis. Okay guys, you know about what is semiotics? If you don't know, let's relearn together. The term semiotic or the alternative term semiology is frequently used in close association with the theory of structuralism. In the previous section, it was referred to as a science of sign. It has been argued that literary structuralists are really engaging in semiotics. So, some distinction should be made clearly. Structuralism is, strictly speaking, a method of investigation, whereas semiotics can be described as a field of study. Its field is that of science system. Okay guys, the first one is we have Peirce from 1839 until 1914. Peirce is an American philosopher. Peirce drew up the useful distinction between different types of signs in social sense of the word. The first one, the iconic, is a sign which resembles its reference. On road sign a picture of a ship near a port or a car falling off a quayside. The word icon is, of course, still used for image representing the Virgin Mary in the Russian Orthodox Church. Nowadays, the word is most commonly used to refer to those little images identifying various functions on a computer. The second one is the indexial. Is a sign associated, sometimes casually, with a river smoke as a sign indicating fire, or a flash as a warning about electricity. And the third is the symbolic. Is a sign which has only an arbitrary relation to its referent, as is the case with words in a language. And then the second one, we have a theory from Yuri Lohmann. He combined strict structural analysis with close reading of the text in the mode of new criticism and argued that literary texts were more worthy of our attention than non-literary ones because they carried a higher information load. He described a poem, for example, as being semantically saturated. A poor poem for him carries insufficient information. A poem, concise, system. A poem consists of a complex arrangement of interrelated systems, phonological, metrical, lexical, etc. And poetic effects are created through tension between these systems. Lodman didn't believe, however, that poetry and literature could be adequately defined by linguistic analysis alone. The text had to be seen in wider relation to their system, to other systems. And then we have phoneme theory. It may not be immediately obvious how phoneme theory could be of relevance to literary theory, but the French critic Roland Barthes made it central to his analysis. A phoneme is a distinct unit of sound in language, which distinguishes one word from another. For example, the p, p, d, p, p, d, and t, t. In the English words pet, 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 bed, bed. A word can be pronounced in a variety of ways, with different stress and accent. Structuralist narratology. Structuralist narrative theory used the model of linguistic analysis to revolve the structure of narrative. The basis model for that of a storyline is that of grammatical syntax. Narrative is compared to the structure of a sentence. Especially influential on the development of structuralist narratology was Vladimir Propp. Vladimir Propp, from 1895 until 1970. Propp was not a formalist and used the term for purely structural analysis. He realized that if you look closely at traditional Russian fairy tales and folk tales, you find one basic story structure underlying them all. Many sujets derive from one basic fabula. There might be superficial difference between the stories in terms of the individual details of events and characters, but all can be reduced to the same basic structure. To demonstrate this, Propp divides the categories of actor and function. Actors are the type of central characters who appear. Function are the acts or events which carry narrative forward. And then next we have A.G. Grammas from 1970 until 1992. He proposed three pairs of binary opposition which include all six main actors: necessary subject or object, sender or receiver, and then helper or opponent. His theory made plot scenes more abstract, stressing neither a narrative form nor a specific type of the character but a structural unit. The six acts and can be combined into three structural units he believed reassure in all kinds of narrative. The first one is subject or object. And there is desire, search, or aim. And then the second one is sender or receiver, is communication. And then the last is helper or opponent, is auxiliary support or hindrance. And then the next is Zevan Todorov from 1939. He described narrative structure using common scientific concepts: agency, prediction, adjectival and verbal function, mood, aspect, and etc. The basic unit of narrative is the proportion, which can either be an agent, such as a person, or a predicate such as action. A predicate can also function like an adjective describing the state of something, or it can function like a verb indicating some kind of action. And then we have Gerard Janet. Oh God, we so serious. Gerard Janet from 1930. Gerard Janet, narrative discourse from 1972, is regarded by many as one of the most important contributions to narratology. He redefined existing categories and introduced a number of completely new ones. For example, he redefined the Russian formalist distinction between fabula and sujet by dividing narrative into three levels: story, history, and discourse. And then structuralist poetry. He wanted to explore the convention that enable readers to make sense of works of literature, believing that it was impossible to establish rules that govern the actual writing of text. Structure could be found underlying the reader interpretation of a text. In a later work, The Pursuit of Science, 1981, he attempted to explain the fact that readers, while following the same interpretative convention, often produce different interpretations. For example, poem. Oh my God! That's all about our discussion today. And I hope from feminist theory and structuralism theory, but in this section I'm trying. Okay, I hope you enjoy all of my videos, and if you don't understand what I mean, please comment in below and ask your question. I'm very happy to answer that. Okay guys, that's all for me. Have a nice day. Keep on move and win. God bless you all.